moments after a game like that.
Starling and the Orange coming off a 77-65 win that we mentioned against NC State at the Dome, in which they led by as many as 21. Away we go from County Forum. Eagles in the white control with Jaeden Zackery, part of that starting group with Post. We showed you they averaged 30 a game. They were both scoreless. It's an early turnover from Quentin Post after those 7, part of 22 BC had against Syracuse.
I think he needs to get inside. He's just so much bigger than Malik Brown on the inside. When he's on the perimeter, these turnovers are coming on the perimeter, and that's where Malik is so active with his hands, quick feet. He's just one of the more athletic guys, and he's giving Quentin Post trouble on the perimeter.
Saw the Syracuse starters. Malik Brown's been great since stepping in as a starter, and he played a big part against Quentin Post. So speaking of Syracuse forcing turnovers, as they did for Red Autry on Saturday, he was overjoyed with their defensive effort in the first half against the Wolfpack.
He has, and he should be. It's not often for a program that plays zone for 47 years, and you get into man principles, and these guys adapt to it and buy into it so quickly.
Jaeden Zackery starts the scoring, the senior point guard and 3rd leading scorer, who was big down the stretch in the win Saturday for BC at Notre Dame.
Zackery is a big, strong guard. He's 6'2", he's over 200 pounds, and physically he can get wherever he wants, so it's a good time for him to knock down his first jump shot.
Here is Starling, sophomore Notre Dame transfer, finds Judah Mintz, the Orange's top scorer, and number 3 in the ACC. Here's Chaz Kelly, 0-0, getting another start, his 3rd straight, with Claudell Harris, the 2nd leading scorer for Boston College, again coming off the bench. Zackery and Aligbe couldn't connect, and it's his 2nd Eagles turnover.
You got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. 2 turnovers in your first 3 possessions there, and if Aligbe was able to get his hands on it, he had a direct line to the basket.
Mintz needs somewhere to go with Post matched up on him, and now Justin Taylor gives it back to Judah Mintz. Knocked down 14 free throws in the win against NC State. Tried one from deep.
Boston College doing a great job of giving him space and baiting him to take the jump shot. Really trying to keep him out of the paint.
Prince Aligbe draws a foul underneath. Well, Earl Grant's Boston College team coming off a sweep of Notre Dame. 3-6 in the ACC, 12-8 overall. He said they got over the hump with that win against the Irish Saturday.
Sometimes just getting a road win like that just does a lot for your confidence. And it was great because they were in foul trouble. Post didn't play as much because he got in early foul trouble. And you saw his scorers are starting to figure it out and come around. I think he feels comfortable with this BC unit that their best basketball is still yet to come.
Zone here from Syracuse, as they'll often do on baseline out of bounds.
Yes.
10 to shoot for Zackery, who moved it for Prince Aligbe. Only knocked down 4 triples all season.
You still want to get a paint touch if you can. You don't mind a 3, but you still want to get it inside before you take 3s against that zone.
Chris Bell wanted a foul from Aligbe. Didn't get it. Aligbe goes up, and it was contested by Bell. Here comes the Orange. Plays at the fastest tempo of any team in the ACC, according to KenPom. Mintz off the bounce, and Mintz. Brown couldn't follow.
Great job there, not fouling on Mintz's penetration.
Devin McGlockton has been surging. How do you do that against Judah Mintz? Avoid fouling when he's so crafty and so shifty.
He is, but you just can't go for his fakes. Just sit back, and when he elevates you, just stay there and hold your ground. You can't buy in any of his fakes. He's really shifty.
Starling short.
And that's a lot easier said than done, obviously, with the amount of free throw attempts that he's gotten. But when he gets downhill, he just attacks angles and he forces contact.
In the Orange, 0 for 6 shooting from the floor. And a slow start for both sides offensively. Quentin Post told us today he's got to get more post touches. Has to get early positioning. Malik Brown caused a lot of problems 3 weeks ago, and doing so again here today.
3rd turnover there. Just great defense there by Malik Brown.
Mintz telegraphed it, and now Zackery. Post. Power move to the cup.
When he gets it in the post, instead of trying to back Malik Brown down, I think he's realizing how much stronger and the leverage that he has. It's not always easy posting up a smaller guy, but what he can do, turn and face and use his length.
He told us, I got sped up. Yes. I got frustrated in the first meeting.
Sometimes you get frustrated because you just feel like the guys have your number. Great drive there by Taylor.
To get Syracuse on the board.
But what he can do is in the post, get it in the post, turn and face. You don't have to back him down.
Yeah, so watch him top left of your screen. Brown now fronting. Malik Bey was looking for the high-low. So you're saying face up here?
Yes, turn and face him and just shoot over him. There you go.
Draws a foul instead on Malik Brown. Slow start offensively. BC up by 2, 5 minutes in. And what kind of impact will Quentin Post have today for the Eagles in the rematch against the Orange?
As a small business owner,
I know you're posting up smaller guys. They have leverage on you, and it's difficult to get position and get deeper against them. And guards are coming in there digging. If he turns and face, he can see the help, and he can just turn, face, and drive it. I think that's his advantage over Malik Brown. Backing him in will be different.
Brown had 4 steals and 4 blocks against Post in the first meeting. And Red Autry said to his pregame on the floor tonight, he thinks Brown's a good matchup because of the quickness,
yes,
because of the hands.
Really good hands. It's difficult for any big. He matches up well on the perimeter. So, but when you're posting them, they're digging and they're offering help, and sometimes they'll even double. So again, when he gets it inside, just turn and face. Sometimes just elevate over him. You got a couple inches on him.
Well, this end, Syracuse has started out 1 of 7 from the floor with a couple of turnovers. Here's Bell with a 3rd Syracuse turnover, and Jaeden Zackery pushes all the way to the basket.
Syracuse defense forced 22 turnovers in their first matchup. You see BC coming out now, defensive end of the floor. They're creating turnovers and turning them into fast break points.
Earl Grant wants this program to be defined by its defense. Mintz gives it up for Brown. Only his 3rd career 3.
You can tell that's a scouting report there. He doesn't take many. Coaching staff will probably say, hey, the first 2 are on me. They'll force him to knock down a couple before they come out and try to guard him.
That's what you do as a coach. You're allowed to.
Yeah, you say 2. The 3rd one, then you got to go.
Mason Madsen in off the bench, 46% from 3. Shoveled it back for Quentin Post, round it out, and Taylor with the rebound. Here's Mintz. Scoreless so far the first 6 minutes, and you knew that wasn't going to last long.
No, not at all. Not getting to that right hand. He's so crafty, getting in the paint, getting downhill, and great job out there by Quentin Post not fouling.
Again, he fouled out in the first meeting, and he fouled out in the win over Notre Dame on the road in South Bend Saturday. Spins on Brown and got it back and scored.
You see, he didn't see the double team coming baseline there and nearly lost it. That's what I mean when I say sometimes just turn and face and got to know they're going to offer help either digging or coming in trap.
5th-year senior who was preseason 2nd team ACC. Bell on the baseline draws a Zackery foul.
He's trying to post. Brown does a great job getting him off his spot. And when he gets to that second dribble, they're coming. He didn't see Taylor coming baseline side. Now he's got to make a mental note of that, knowing the help is coming from the baseline side. And his teammates got to help him, too. They got to do a really good job of diving from the weak side so he can skip it across court and read where the help's coming from.
This end of the floor, what have you seen from Syracuse so far offensively?
Syracuse is just moving the ball. I mean, they're trying to figure out how they want to attack this team off the bounce. They're going to take threes when they're there, but they want to get in the paint. They control the game by not just their intensity on the defensive end, on the offensive end by pressuring you, and they're doing that because all 4 or 5 of their guys always on the court can attack you off the bounce.
First meeting, they won by 10 and led by as many as 19 points. Although BC came back to grab a lead inside of 8 minutes to go in the second half of that game.
Without their 2 best players scoring, which is unbelievable you're able to do something like that.
Leading late on the road at the Dome. 9-9 our score, 7 minutes in. Mintz carving out some space on Zackery. Starling pop free on a reverse. Quadir Copeland. Starling left alone. Knocks it down.
Continuing his hot streak from behind the line. Great job by Copley coming in, getting the offensive rebound and kicking it out. That's the best time to get a three is after an offensive rebound.
There's been a lot of talk about J.J. Starling and the improved shooting and the mechanics. Red Autry said to us earlier today, it is as simple as mechanics for the difference in Starling's shot.
And it's just confidence as well. You know, when you put the work in, sometimes you just trust the work. It's a nice shot. No hitch, no hesitation. Feet is ready.
See what he's done the last 4 games. 3 of them have been excellent, including the career-high 26 Saturday at the Dome for J.J. Starling. Syracuse on a 10-2 run. Shot clock winding down. McGlockton got it from Madsen. Banging with Benny Williams. No.
Great defensive there by the Orange.
Starling. He said it's confidence as well. He runs down his own miss. Finds Mintz. No dice and cleared by Armani Mighty.
You can see they're sagging off Mintz a little bit. They're conceding that shot for him. You're more afraid of him just getting in the paint.
Mighty had it on his knees, and it's a held ball, and the arrow points to Syracuse when we come back. Well, J.J. Starling's getting involved for Syracuse, now up by 3 on the road.
Knocking down a corner 3 there after a great offensive rebound. Orange coming out, knocking down threes from behind the line.
It's coming Saturday, and for the 49th time, it's a top 10 matchup between both these teams. In the previous 48, they've each won 24, and the points in those top 10 meetings about as close as it gets.
Throw the rankings out. No one cares. That's just going to be a bloodbath out there. And
I do care about the rankings, though. They're both top 10.
No. They are. They're both top 10, but it doesn't matter. Those kids just play for that. It's the best rivalry in college athletics, and everyone should tune in. It should be fun to watch.
Malik Brown adds to the Syracuse spurt here. It's 7-0 over the last couple of minutes. You see now down by 5. Quentin Post on the bench for Earl Grant, getting ready to come back in. Here's Claudell Harris, averaging 14 a game, coming off the bench the last few games, like we said. Aligbe backs down Starling. Aligbe finishes.
Without Post in there, Aligbe can go inside, and he has a physical advantage over most wings there. Gets the angle and finishes.
Sophomore from Minneapolis at 6'7", 225. Copeland comes up to get it. Brown slipped it, moved it to the corner, and now Starling off the shot fake. Finishes. That is good looking offense.
The play was made by Brown there, catching that pocket pass there on the move and then skipping it to the corner. And this is when Autry told us about Brown does so many things. And where you got to be careful here is Mighty handling the ball on the perimeter against him. His active hands, you see him reaching. He can wreck a game plan like this one, creating opportunities.
So can Quadir Copeland, who got bumped by Claudell Harris. You said it all started on this possession with Brown.
This is coming off the screen. See the pocket pass there, and now when he fires that thing in the weak side corner there, it's 2-on-1. It's a great drive in the. And here Copeland just gets in the pocket lane. Got fouled earlier. I think Harris fouled twice in one possession. Didn't get called for the first one, but they called the second one.
Turnovers, like we said, big issue. Season high 22 of them for BC in the first meeting as Quadir Copeland continues to politic for that to be a shooting foul.
Most teams aren't used to a center being able to pressure. When a guy like Quentin Post is on the perimeter, he's usually a press releaser. And against this team, Malik Brown his active hands and quick feet, he pressures the ball so much.
Ooh, that was very close. Called a backcourt violation on Benny Williams. Right down the line from our view.
He tried to keep his foot there. Yeah, he slipped. Well, he broke the plane a little bit, yeah. Eyesight definitely better than mine.
Red Belt Childress, Mike Bodico, our entire crew with you. Jaeden Zackery into a pull-up that doesn't drop, and the rebound to Brown, who stuffed the stat sheet in the first meeting. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And we mentioned the 4 steals and 4 blocks. Mintz hangs in the air for his second bucket.
You got to stop the ball with a ball screen with Mintz. You can't retreat. He has what we call a never-ending dribble. He continues to press the defense, get in the paint. That's the last place you want to see Judah Mintz.
Post. On a face-up, found Zackery on the dribble drive. And Copeland down with a rebound. Orange by 7. Williams in transition, attacking. Follow not there for Brown, as Post went straight up on Benny Williams.
Great verticality there. Not trying to block the shot and draw the foul. And
offensive foul here, though, on Quentin Post, trying to get positioning on Malik Brown.
This is where Quentin Post has to settle down. Gets his first foul. You don't want to pick up a second one. And can't get frustrated there with the extra physicality he's going to receive.
Yeah, they actually called it on Post, in the post. And Brian O'Connell just walked by to confirm with us.
Yeah, Brown got away with the first bump, and Quentin Post tried to retaliate and got called for the second one.
Mintz on the handoff from Brown. Timeout, Earl Grant. Judah Mintz has entered the chat for the Orange. Surging in this first half and up by 9 on the road.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. I land at 3.
Any ideas for your first meeting?
Brown did a whole lot of everything in the first meeting for Syracuse against Boston College, and more of the same today.
Well, he's doing everything. I mean, he's so athletic, and there he gets the handoff. He gives it to Mintz, and he's catching the pocket pass. He's skipping. He's affecting the game on the defensive end of the floor, pressuring centers, and most centers aren't expecting that. And then any offense he gives you is just a bonus. And Autry told us he thinks that there's more within his offensive package that he can give us.
And this was the stat line from the first meeting. Only player in the country who has put together a line where those numbers are better in a game this year.
Yeah. See, he's getting frustrated. Post is using his arms.
And then Harris draws a foul. Hey, coming up next here on ACC Network, part 2 of our doubleheader at Little John. Louisville and Clemson, a Clemson team smarting from the trip to Cameron on Saturday.
Yeah, that was a great game all the way down to the end. And Clemson's glad to be back home. They had Florida State and Duke. Went 1-1 on that road trip.
Malik Brown to the bench with 2 fouls, and Donald Hand Jr. stops the 6-0 Cuse run.
Ham spent quite a bit of time in warm-ups and after shoot-around today working on that shot. He's got to be happy the first one went in for him.
Redshirt freshman out of Virginia Beach. Copeland draws a foul underneath.
Great job with the movement on offense by the Orange. And BC got a little too spread out, giving a lane to drive. You can't give up driving lanes. You got to be connected and pulled in. And knowing the Orange bench, all of them want to drive you and get downhill.
Including Quadir Copeland, sophomore spark plug, who goes to the line after what's called the second foul on Jaeden Zackery. They called a shooting foul as well.
Earl Grant's got a decision to make here with Zackery, and he wanted his experienced guard in on the floor, but probably got to take him out.
Yeah, it looks like there might be some confusion on the BC sideline of who the foul was called on. There were 2 Eagles defenders right by Copeland on the drive when he came to his jump stop. But it is on Zackery. It is his second, and the decision made to yank out the senior point guard.
Now look for BC to get Judah Mintz some ball screens with the wings and try to get him to switch onto a bigger body.
And get a mismatch in the post.
And get him inside.
Foul's called on the perimeter here. It's on Keith Carey, who after squaring off with DJ Burns on Saturday gets some more run back in his home state.
And let's look for Quentin Post as well. Malik Brown's out getting the blow. Carey's in. Try to get him some touches while Brown's not guarding him right now with his active hands.
Brown on the bench with his 2 fouls. So it's the young big man task right now in the middle of the zone for the Orange.
You
10
can't
to shoot
pass
for Chaz Kelly.
Can't pass around the perimeter. The ball's got to get inside.
Harris trying to disprove that notion.
Yeah, well, give it to him at 39%. Let him shoot it. That always works. That always works.
14 a game for the Charleston Southern transfer. Copeland has another foul. Syracuse ahead by 4 on the road at BC. Trying to knock down some triples. Get back in this. For Syracuse on baseline and sideline out of bounds.
Yeah, and when you attack, you usually see Ham with the ball there, and they're running them through. They want to overload the weak side there. And you can see J.J. Starling had to stop the ball, then try to get to the shooter and couldn't get there. But ideally, with that shot, you want Harris Jr. taking it. But if you can't, you want to see BC trying to get the ball in the paint a little bit more.
First points for Claudell Harris, who had 9 Saturday against Notre Dame, all in the second half, including a couple of big threes that Earl Grant said afterward were huge and separated us from the Irish.
He did. He got it going there in the second half and starting to get comfortable. And I think the biggest adjustment for him is figuring out how teams are scheming him. He isn't just a guy on the scouting report now. It's just a name. Now you're figuring out how you got to give him special attention, and he's adjusting to that.
Fouls on Kelly.
Spacing of BC is just off, and they got to get cutters. They got to get better movement. That time you got 3 guys on one side. It allows the defense to help and recover and not able to punish them. So you need space playing against Syracuse with the active hands and the turnovers that they force.
They forced 7 BC turnovers. Carey on a lob from Copeland. Now 6 career points for the sophomore Pete Carey.
The Orange just got so many guys that they all do so many different things. You know, they're not gonna just. Copeland takes the best perimeter guy. You see him now chasing Harris. He prides himself in that. Active hands, pressure on the ball. He's not a guy you think of as a ball screen option.
Kelly, tough shot on the baseline over Carey.
Chaz Kelly put in a lot of work as well, and game's starting to slow down for him. He's picking it up on the defensive end really well and starting to knock down mid-range shots until his 3-ball gets consistent.
He had 9 on Saturday as well. He's only had 1 game this year with more points than that. Carey from the elbow with a face-up on Kelly. Couldn't finish it. And a foul goes against Syracuse underneath. Well, talked about how active Syracuse is defensively. They play at a fast tempo, and they force a ton of steals, and they score off those turnovers they create.
They do. They're just really active, and they're really disruptive in what they're trying to do. And offensively, they just want to space and drive you. Create opportunities to either finish in the rim, draw fouls, and drive closeouts. They want to get you in rotation.
Post popped. Loves this spot, but he walked with it. That's turnover number 4 for Quentin Post.
I think sometimes, again, he can roll on some of these. He's popping quite a bit. Either take this shot. There should be no hesitation there. It's a great job here by Copeland, throwing a lob there by Carey, getting in the paint at his size. And that's what I mean when I roll sometimes as a big. That's the pressure you put on the rim. And Post is popping, and he's allowing the defense to recover.
Benny Williams, no. Harris blows by Mintz to the basket.
That may be the worst defensive possession by the Orange there. No one stopped the ball, and great job by Harris identifying that.
He hit the gas. Mintz finds Carey for the stop.
We talked about it in the open, and that's been the biggest adjustment to Judah Mintz's game. It's just his playmaking ability. He doesn't just draw fouls and put pressure on you. Finding teammates like that. Strong finish there by Carey.
Carey's come off the bench, and in 3 minutes with 4 points has matched his previous career point total. Post scores and trims it to 2.
Again, catching it on the move. I don't think they can guard him on the move. He has too much. He's too skilled and has too much in his bag.
Sagged off of Mintz again.
Yeah, there was just confusion on the ball screen coverage. Were they switching or were they hedging and recovering? That time they didn't do either.
And then Mintz picks up his second foul, getting aggressive, and he's pleading with Red Autry to stay in.
Just a great drop driving there, forcing rotation. And post comes back again, turning, facing, and just powering through carry. I think he can do that against anybody getting angles. And he's such a skilled passer. He can see where the help is coming from. If he just tries to post up, help is going to come and sit in his lap, and I don't think he should settle.
And he was jawing as well with Benny Williams, who picks it from Devin McGlockton here. Post never one to shy away from fiery chatter. McGlockton got pushed down by his own teammate, Chaz Kelly, and J.J. Starling made them both pay.
You're taught to do that, and you're told to do that sometimes. Push a guy when you can't hear him, and I think he pushed that time a little too hard.
McGlockton saw the opening and had it blocked by Monir Hema. That's it, Hoist. Harris.
That's what you want to do, drive it. Even if you don't get the shot block, getting offensive rebound, teams are scrambling around. Always a good thing to find Manson when his feet are set.
Knocked down 3 threes and had 11 points in the first meeting between these teams. Bell had 20 in that game, including 4 triples. Shut off by Matson. Toss back out for Williams. Shot clock winding down. Bell pulls up. Off target, well defended by Matson.
Great defense there by BC. You got to run Bell off the line.
Harris on the crossover. Finds the cutter. And it's McGlockton. Timeout, Syracuse.
Great job there by BC. Attacking the paint, finding cutters. Just a great move here by Harris with the Euro and finish. Got a ball game here in Chestnut Hill.
You and auto owners help make it possible. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Women's basketball doubleheader for you right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. This week, 2 great rivalry matchups. Number 17, Virginia Tech hosts Virginia at 6 Eastern, and then number 24, North Carolina takes on 5th-ranked NC State. We've got some foul trouble on both sides. For BC, it's point guard Jaeden Zackery has 2, and for Syracuse, Malik Brown has had 2, and Judah Mintz has a couple as well.
I think Brown getting 2 was a big reason why BC got back in the game. He was so disruptive. He was giving Quentin Post some trouble on the perimeter and active hands, and actually doing a great job of moving the basketball. And the things that he can do on the offensive end is a big part of the Orange.
Bell off a screen, comes up short, but it belongs to Boston College. So 3:02 to go in this first half in a 2-point game. Second meeting between these two, with Syracuse at 5-4 in the ACC, tied for 6th. Winners of 9 of their last 12. Kelly straight on for 3.
Great job there by Chaz Kelly coming up under that middle ball screen. J.J. Starling went under, stopped right behind the screen, got his feet under him and knocked down a 3.
Kelly had been 28% from 3 this year. Kyle Cuff, a little bit out of control. Kelly pushes. The Eagles run. Matson, shot fake. Oh, and J.J. Starling went down hard.
Let's hope J.J. Starling is okay.
Madsen got him in the air with the shot fake in the corner. And Starling went somersaulting over him. Starling turns onto his back as Red Autry, his head coach, comes out to check on him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He hit head first. And good sign to see him up walking back to the bench.
Sophomore from Baldwinsville, New York. Second leading scorer for the Orange. Of course, the transfer from Notre Dame. Really finding his stride over the last couple of weeks. Hope for the best for him.
I don't know if you've ever had that happen to you, but it's pretty scary because when they take your legs under you, you're just spinning so fast and not just landing on your head. It's just it's scary. I think it scares you more than actually sometimes just hitting the ground.
And I got to imagine it's rather unavoidable as a player. I mean, you're going all out trying to defend a 46% three-point shooter. Of course you're going to go in the air.
Yeah, and it's you know, you've seen so many different things happen, but it's a good thing he seems to be okay. And you know, just getting back to his bench, you know, they'll do the test and make sure, but you're just glad he's able to walk away.
Well, Madsen puts BC up by 3 for these last couple of possessions. The Eagles hadn't led since it was 9-8 here in this first half. Taylor against Post, who went straight up. McGlockton the rebound, and he drew a foul. Well, coming up at the half, Justin Walters and Luke Hancock are in the studio. We'll have a lot to talk about with this being the first game of our doubleheader here on ACC Network with Louisville, Clemson to follow. And on the flats in Midtown Atlanta, number 3 team in the country is at Georgia Tech. Carolina's got the lead. How good is Carolina?
I think their record shows how good they are. The 3rd-ranked team in the country is not by accident. That team is so connected, they're playing so well, and more importantly, they're defending at such a high level. So it doesn't matter where they're playing now, home or on the road. Defense is traveling, and there's not a better guard in the country right now playing better than R.J. Davis and what he's doing. And
let me ask you this. Is there a player in the country playing better than R.J. Davis right now?
Well, outside of Purdue, I don't know there is. I think Zackery is this dominant player in college. But I think he'll be a 2-time player of the year, national player of the year. But R.J. Davis deserves a seat at the table. Need to be invited to the banquet for that one because I think he's a definitely runaway first half ACC player of the year.
Bell had it contested by McGlockton and wanted a foul. And now BC's got it again, up by 5 now. Inside of 2 minutes to go until halftime.
Really been on a run without Malik Brown in the game. And
McGlockton on the block with the left hand makes it a 14-zip run.
Archer's just trying to hold for time and hope he can finish out this half. And they're really missing Malik Brown right now and then losing J.J. Starling.
Yeah, they had to put Brown back into the game, and he just missed the triple. Playing with the 2 fouls here in the first half and matched up with Post. He hedged on Kelly, and now Madsen can't hang on to it. And BC's 10th turnover.
Just a great job there and just finding McGlockton. He's really good at catching the ball on the move himself and posting up. And I think he's a matchup nightmare for anyone.
Quentin Post told us Devin McGlockton's been such a force inside and always plays within himself.
He knows what he is, and that's a great thing.
Harris tipped it, and it does stay with the Orange.
I think McGlockton does a great job of ball screening, and if you switch a smaller guard on him, look for him to get in the post and take advantage of it. And I often say you can tell a player knows what he is by his field goal percentage. And you're shooting 63% in the ACC, and you know where your shots are coming from. And you got to corral the ball here. You can't leave post one-on-one.
Mintz walks with it. Second Judah Mintz turnover, and it's back to BC up 7.
Great job by Post, moving his feet. You get the assignment switch, you keep him on one side, you go straight up. Doesn't try to swipe down. That's what Post needs to do and not pick up foul trouble in any game, which is what he did in the first matchup of the 2 teams.
And Judah Mintz, after attempting 18 free throws in the win Saturday, has not been to the free throw line here today. Harris, no, and then a foul comes on the floor against Syracuse on the rebounding action. First on Chris Bell. So yeah, Judah Mintz, who gets to the free throw line as much as pretty much anyone in the country. The only power conference player in the entire nation to make more free throws and attempt more than Judah Mintz is the National Player of the Year you mentioned, Jaeden.
And at his size, it's an amazing thing, you know, to be able to endure that kind of punishment on every game and still come out and line up every game and go after it again that way. And it shows you the mental toughness that he plays the game with.
Syracuse would love to trim this 7-point deficit headed to halftime. Mintz got bumped by Kelly. Mintz drives, lost it, and it belongs to BC. Frustration setting in for Judah Mintz here late in the first half.
Well, he's driving into you. When he gets the angle, he forces the officials to blow his whistle, but Post does a great job moving his feet, showing his hands, and Mintz not getting the calls he's accustomed to getting when he forces contact like that. And great job there by BC.
Madsen needed somewhere to go, turned it over to Copeland, who got it off. It comes up short. So we head to halftime with Boston College on a surge to finish out that first half and ahead of Syracuse 37-30. First half's been a good one to start this doubleheader on ACCN. Let's get you to the studio with Luke Hancock. Here's Justin Walters. When Malik Brown picked up his second foul in the first half, Syracuse was up 20-11. So until he came in late in the first half, Syracuse got outscored 22-10.
And it's his impact on the defensive end that we know about, but it's his impact offensively that just goes unnoticed because sometimes he gets the hockey assist, he sacrifices, he screens, he just makes winning plays.
Well, starters are out there on both sides to begin the second half, and that's great to see for J.J. Starling and the Orange. Jaeden Zackery scores after he dealt with a couple of fouls in the first half as well.
Yeah, he hit his first shot of the game and got those two quick ones. And it's good to see him get downhill, use his physical body, and knock down his first shot of the second half. And let's monitor the foul trouble with these guys to see who picks up, if anyone picks up that third foul quick in the second half here.
Syracuse 5-4 in the ACC with the chance for a quad 2 win today as Brown turns it over looking for Judah Mintz. Syracuse trying to sweep BC, trying to make it back-to-back ACC wins. Right now, Joe Lunardi's got them in what he calls consider. 89th overall, he says, for the 60-18 field. Kelly turned the corner to the cup.
Mix up there on the Orangemen and their coverage. And Kelly making it known that he might not give up that starting spot. He's really starting to play well.
Averages for a game at 9 Saturdays, we told you, against Notre Dame, and is up to 7 now, again starting for Claudell Harris. He seems more comfortable coming off the bench.
Well, I think he's just comfortable accepting the role. I think his adjustment is just the schematic things that teams were doing against him. You know, when you struggle when you're a focal of the team's defense, and now he's starting to figure that out.
Starling right down the lane, and it rolled off. This is as large as the lead has been on either side tonight. BC by 11. Zackery hiding behind the post screen for 3. And a quick timeout from Syracuse.
Back-to-back buckets by Zackery here to pull up in the paint. This time, Grump drag screen with Quentin Post. You go under. Can't do that against me.
BC's on a 21-zip run going back to the first half, and these two guys that we spotlighted off the top, Quentin Post and Jaeden Zackery, been a lot better tonight.
Yeah, they're combined 7 of 10 from the floor tonight. Just a great start. You can see they're more assertive, more aggressive. This team was very competitive and took the lead late in the first game without either of those guys scoring. And tonight they're leading the charge on the offensive end of the floor. Big reason why they're up 14 here early in the second half.
There's Judah Mintz driving dish to Taylor. First 2 minutes, second half, and a 14-point deficit for the Orange. Brown gave it up. Fell off the shot fake, lost the handle. and it belongs to BC. So think about this. Syracuse with the J.J. Starling jumper went up 30-23 with 4:24 to go in the first half. And then BC closed on a 14-0 run, and they've got all 7 points out of halftime as well.
And they're doing it on the defensive end of the floor. You see there, it's an unforced turnover there, but they're really getting after the defensive end, and they're making shots. I mean, Syracuse has not stopped these guys, and the only thing that stopped them is just turning the ball over like that.
12 for the team, 5 for Post, and Copeland cannot stop the run.
If you're Boston College, you got to get a shot up. You can ill afford to continue to turn the basketball over.
Post spinning on Brown, and he turns it over again. They don't get the shot up there.
And that one's on Quentin Post there. You saw earlier in the first half, double teams coming from the baseline there, and that's what you got to be conscious of. You can't turn it over and give the team to come back. Syracuse Orange is lost right now on the offensive end of the floor. Don't want to get turnovers to get them in transition to get them going.
A league may got free on a total breakdown from the Orange defensively. Back to a 14-point margin for BC. Brown moves it off the block. Starling rises and connects. J.J. Starling's second three, and he's got 10. The deficit down to 11.
You got to find Starling, and you got to get to Mintz. It's the other guys turning down shots to find those guys, and it's one of the reasons why the Orange is so good.
McGlockton left alone at 37% from three.
Let the ball find the open guy. No need to force anything. Just take care of the basketball.
Mintz got to his spot. He's got 13.
Both teams are starting to heat up. Well, I should say the Orange are starting to join the offensive party. Boston has had their way scoring.
Plenty of time inside of 16 to go, second half.
Got to be careful with the basketball against Malik Brown,
who forces a tie-up and gets it back on the arrow as Post and Brown swap some pleasantries afterward.
J.J. Starling just knocking down that wing three. Good to see him back on his feet, recover from that game, but kept Devin McGlockton knocks it down, let them know.
Up next right here on ACC Network, we take you to Little John for Clemson hosting Louisville after the Tigers almost pulled off an upset at Cameron, falling 72-71. P.J. Hall and old Syracuse friend Joe Girard is connecting on 41% from three. Star for the Tigers. That's a big one for Clemson trying to get back on track.
Well, just to be back home. I mean, I know they're disappointed in the Duke game, but not many teams are going to go on a road at Florida State and at Duke and get 2 wins. Lucky to get 1, and they did. And they got to get home and defend home court.
Copeland with a drop-off for Malik Brown, who gets it to go, plus a foul.
We talked about it with Malik Brown, just what he does. And here it just sets a screen, and you're taught when they get that deep, you got to switch. Post gets over, and difficult to crack down on the weak side as a guard and try to get that. You're on the outside, and great job by Brown, just catching it high and finishing high.
He's a much improved free throw shooter this year, but couldn't stamp a three-point play. McGlockton just bullies Benny Williams.
It's a grown man move there by McGlockton. And again, I call him a matchup nightmare because it doesn't matter the size you put on him. He just figures it out. He punishes smaller defenders.
Brown with the size advantage on Kelly, and he's got another chance for a three-point play.
Talk about punishing switches, and that's what we talk about with bigs. That time it was a lob, but if you don't get it, you either get it off the glass or hopefully your teammate find you there. Great job by Copeland throwing it over the top. It's impossible anybody be on the backside. Just not much you can do.
Malik Brown, the sophomore from Culpeper, Virginia, again can't knock down the free throw. Brown making a 7th straight start since Naheem McLeod's foot injury that'll keep him out of the year and necessitated surgery. Kelly with a push-off and an offensive foul. And now Syracuse is fired up and has snatched back some momentum here.
Well, you're always going to be in a game when your identity is on the defensive end, and great job by Judah Mintz getting over that screen, pressure in the right hand, and Chaz Kelly used that left arm to push off. The offensive end of the floor, the Orange is starting to pick it up here, so.
What's changed?
Where they get Malik Brown has changed. I mean, we talked about his impact. He's scoring, and here he is again.
After a pretty feed from Copeland, and then Brown threw one at the feet of J.J. Starling.
I think he's too unselfish there. He had to lay up if he wanted it. He scored the last few times. I think it's there for a reason, and that time he tried to force it to weak side skip, and I think the layup was there if he wanted it.
DC by 10. A long way to go in this second half. Claudell Harris is in for Kelly. McGlockton short. Rebound Brown.
Just get Brown in the ball screen and let him react to what's going on. Really good pass on the perimeter, and he also rose well.
There he is, setting a screen for Starling. Short roll. Now he pops out. Cutting Williams. Feeds Copeland. Underneath. Gets the roll.
It's a great offensive possession there by the Orange. Everyone touched it. Everyone moving it one more. Turning down a shot for a better shot. Or better opportunity, and great finish there.
First points for Benny Williams, who had 11 and 5 on Saturday in the win against NC State. And now Syracuse with it, down just 8 and on the move. Copeland feathers one to Brown. Oh, that's pretty.
Great job by the Orange, running it. Took a quick shot to get out in transition. All of these guys can attack you off the bounce. They cut, they move so well.
Brown and post are banging, and this crowd is charged up. Copeland went high stepping down the floor. Aligbe muscles it in for 2, and an answer.
Great job by Aligbe catching it again. Finish him on this end. Look at the ball movement here. Backdoor cut, reverse lay to get back in it, and Aligbe just really getting into the chest of Benny Williams there and moving him. Just a physical wing.
Aligbe threw it down after Quadir Copeland delivered a gorgeous feed to Malik Brown. What Judah Mintz tell us last week? He said, I think the other team knows that when Quadir Copeland comes in, now the game really starts.
Well, you love when a guy decides he's going to take the opposite team's best player. And again, Orange lineup, they're just unselfish. The ball moves, and
Copeland was navigating, and now Brown sends it up top for Judah Mintz. Trying to cross up Harris on a step through. It's a foul on the floor. Drawn by Mintz against Harris.
got to show your hands on Judah Mintz. He's just going to come right at you and force contact.
They're going to get the foul instead on Armani Mighty, they say. It's his first.
Now, they burned Boston College on the baseline out of bounds a couple of times here, and they did it again. There's a big emphasis of the BC team with the baseline out of bounds plays. When you know you're going to be in tight games sometimes, coaches really focus on that. The Orange do a great job of scoring on this sideline and baseline out of bounds plays. Sometimes that could be the difference in the game, and they burned BC the first game.
Zackery forced one up. Mighty the offensive rebound, a kick out for Harris, who walks with it.
Not enough ball movement on the offensive end of the floor for Boston College there. And it's got to move. Fortunate enough for Mighty to pick up that offensive rebound there and got a Harris on the travel.
Syracuse with it, down a half dozen. Brown to the basket. And it's down to 4.
Difficult matchup there for Mighty. I think Brown's just too quick for him on the perimeter. He's going to have to cushion him.
Mighty, the backup big, who only averages 6 minutes a game. Tries to back down Brown. Drop step. Can't finish with the left hand. Batted around, and Zackery secures it. Zackery knifes to the basket for 2.
Great job by Mighty, just sticking with it. Missed his shot, got his hand on it, knocked it in the air. And
Copeland hangs and hits and has something to say to Mason Madsen.
guys are chirping, the intensity's picking up. The Orange are fought back close to 4. Without posting the game now, you can sense the Orange are pressing the issue.
Syracuse has hit its last 10 shots from the floor. And we go back and forth at Connie Forum. Jaeden Zackery dealt with foul trouble in the first half, has stepped up in the second, and all the energy packed into Claudell Copeland on the scene.
Willing this group here in the second half back in this game. And again, remember, they were up big with him in the first half and leading this game. And on the verge of running away in the first half, and he got hurt, and it totally flipped. BC goes on this big 21-0 run, leading into the second half, and now he's back out in the court. And he has really been dominating this matchup with Quentin Post. I mean, he's created 14 turnovers in 2 games, and we still got 11 minutes to go in this one. And he's the primary reason why. His activity, his hands, and what he's done to Post is frustrating.
Tell you what, too, how fun did this building get just in the last few minutes of game action?
It did. Syracuse fans showed up and showing out a little bit here. There's a lot of Orange here.
There was a loud "Let's Go Orange" chant that broke out during the break. 11 to go, second half. Shot clock winding down. Harris too strong. Offensive rebound. Aligbe left it short. Copeland without numbers for Syracuse. No whistle there. Zackery tried to dry a foul. Starling, back iron, and Aligbe the clear out on Williams.
Good execution on both ends of the floor. Neither team finished it, but...
And now Zackery draws a foul here on the drive. Hey, Friday's ACC PM with Mark Packer and Taylor Tannenbaum will come to you from Chapel Hill as they prep for Duke, Carolina. The show starts at 4 Eastern. Then the game Saturday at 6:30 over on ESPN and the app.
Zackery there did his best Judah Mintz interpretation of just driving it hard in the paint, forcing contact, and made the officials blow the whistle.
Third foul on Claudell Copeland. Aligbe moved it for Madsen. BC up by 4. Aligbe cuts into traffic and a turnover. The 17th for the Eagles.
You gotta avoid the temptation there of just continue. You see, when the ball hits the paint, they're coming. 3 players there. The right read was to throw it out the post in the corner, and wherever the ball is, they're gonna have at least 3 defenders there chasing it.
Copeland a handoff for Brown. Those 2 have been in rhythm here in the second half with Taylor and Bell on the bench for Red Autry. Copeland thought about it a couple of times. Through the legs on a drive with a reverse that he couldn't finish. Williams saved it. Oh! Brown from Copeland!
That is the second possession this half we've seen. Just unbelievable unselfishness, moving the basketball. The Orange doesn't care who scores it. They're just going to find the open guy. You won't find a better basketball play on the offensive end of the floor than that all season long. Fouls on the floor on Judah Mintz.
Claudell Copeland has 7 assists. 2 of them this half have been spectacular.
Hey, look at this ball movement. Offensive rebound there. Wow. Just unselfish play. And Brown has been up for the challenge, putting this team on his back. Wow.
Madsen. Oh, rounded out. Post the offensive rebound, nearly lost it. Finds Zackery, who hoists. Can't hit. And Copeland a rebound as he is doing everything for the Orange out of halftime.
And the dangerous part for Boston College is earlier in the game when they was really scoring the basketball well, they just kept turning it over. Now they're going cold, and the Orange are back in the game.
Copeland. Brown spins one out. Copeland, I think, would rather pass not looking at his target right now.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to score.
Post. Can't finish. And Aligbe gets fouled on the follow.
But his unselfishness is contagious.
I'm saying I think he would rather throw a no-look pass than actually face you up and look at you.
He gets more satisfaction out of finding teammates, and it's what Coach Autry talked about with him. I mean, he's some people are surprised with this offensive output, and Autry said he has more to give us, and we're starting to see that. I mean, he's comfortable now. He's taking more threes, but catching it on the move and moving the basketball, I think is just something that, you know, this league, we're fortunate in the ACC to see. I mean, Quentin Post hasn't shown you much of that tonight, but he's an elite ball mover and passer for a big guy. And we're watching these two guys go at it, and quite honestly, Malik Brown has had the upper hand last game, and he so far has the upper hand in this one as well in the head-to-head battle.
He's got 15 and 5, as you saw, with Post at 7 points, 9 rebounds, but those 7 turnovers. And so Aligbe was good on the first. 65% from the stripe. Lead at just 3 after he splits. Inside of 9 to go, second half, with Randolph Childers, Mike Monaco, our entire crew with you. Copeland's got 6 rebounds, 7 assists to go along with 5 points. Mintz around the corner, backs it out with 10 to shoot and triggers. Short, offensive rebound Taylor. Now Starling. And connect, and Post runs it down.
Yeah, someone else besides Post got to get on the glass from BC with this lineup.
Skip for Harris. Baseline drive tipped away by Brown. Zackery feathered one, and its last touch by Aligbe. And yet another Boston College turnover, up to 18 of them.
I like the look by Zackery. I saw what he saw, but you got 3 guys standing within 10 feet of one another. There's no spacing. And you don't have to be a great shooter, but you still need to space the floor.
On the drive, Brown draws a foul.
Mix up on a defensive end right here with BC. They're not matched up. I guess that's why he's trying to sell the foul.
Those two have been banging now for 3 weeks.
But that's part of what Brown has been doing. Little subtle bumps, and Post was trying to sell one there, and the officials just didn't call it.
Let me ask you this. How do you think Post has handled the mental and emotional side of it? Because he told us today that he needed to stay calm. Has he been less frustrated?
No, I think he's frustrated more.
You think so?
Because I think this was not what he wanted. He had 7 turnovers the first game, and he already has that again.
Harris strikes a 3. Big-time bucket for BC to go up by 6, and then Aligbe commits the foul on Claudell Copeland. Oh, this has been fun here in the second half. BC led by as many as 14. Syracuse whittled it down, but it's BC thanks to Claudell Harris, up a half dozen down the stretch at Connie Forum.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles.
Judah Mintz told us, you're always going to know what Claudell Copeland is thinking. You're always going to see what he's doing, too, because he makes his impact felt in so many ways.
He is, and he's the emotional leader of this group. I think he's the guy that does all the vocalizing and communication with everybody, and you can see here he's stuffing his stat sheet, and his play rubs off on everybody. And as they say, the game doesn't start till he gets in the game.
No.
So you can see why when you put up numbers like this and you're impacting the game in so many ways.
Red Autry's been riding him in the second half. Same with Benny Williams, too. We have not seen much of Justin Taylor, who is in there now, and Chris Bell only played a couple of minutes since halftime, as Syracuse has fought back. If you're just joining us, BC closed the first half on a 14-0 run. Started the second half on a 7-0 run. But after enduring that 21-zip stretch, Syracuse has inched closer as Starling misfires. BC pushes. Aligbe attacks. Post couldn't handle it. Got it back on the second effort. Tosses it out for Kelly.
He's got a guard on him. He's got to take advantage of this.
On the repost on Starling. Feeds Harris. Knocks it down.
It's always a great idea to find a shooter, and just that quick, Copeland comes back and responds. What a game he's having.
7-point BC lead with 7 to go. And a matchup between old Big East foes. Syracuse has won the last 11 meetings. Harris lost the shoe. He's carrying it around, trying to put it back on his right foot.
Great job there by Post, but they got to go to him quick. Brown switched off, and then he switched back on and gets a steal.
Copeland and Brown forced it. Copeland got stripped. Got it back. Kelly nearly fouled him. Taylor moves it to Starling. And now Syracuse will set things up with Mintz.
You got to corral the ball now when Judah Mintz has it. Corral it. Great job. Just
Brown threw it away.
Yeah, great job there. Backing up on Judah Mintz, knowing he wants to attack. It's a great job there in the post. You see the help coming baseline there. Kicks it out. Harris sprays it, knocks it down for 3, and just great effort there on the defensive end of the floor. Chaz Kelly with an impact on both ends of the floor this game, and his numbers won't overwhelm you, but he's been really solid.
He's played 24 minutes. Heavy load for the sophomore. Harris, shot fake to the elbow and all the way to the basket.
Great move with the shot fake. Gets the defender in the air, and he puts him on his hip. We call that putting him in jail. Keeps him there and don't let him out.
And now Harris fouls Mintz. He's going to the free throw line for the first time all game, 34 minutes in.
Yeah, he shot fakes, gets Judah up in the air there, and then he puts him on his hip, never lets him get back in front of the ball. And Judah Mintz comes back and reminds him that I'm the best at that, and actually draws the fouls and gets the free throws on the other end. So just great jobs playing at a high level, understanding. Get your defender in the air when you come off a ball screen. Keep him on your hip. Don't let him get back in front. And continue to get in the paint until you make a play.
Well, Syracuse is 3 of 9 at the free throw line.
And they'll look back at this and know that in a game that this tight, this magnitude, and they'll afford to miss free throws like this and be 3 of 9.
The 185th free throw attempt of the season for Mintz, and that comes up short. 9-point margin. Harris is feeling it, and it's a kick on Williams.
Well, because Boston College has punished the switching, now the Orange is trying not to switch, and now you're going to see the guards kind of bend the corner on those screens and try to get downhill.
What does that make available for BC?
Well, it allows you the bigs now. You can get some dump-off passes and some slips to the big. You're not allowing.
Harris knocks down another.
So that guy gets hot now. He's picking it up.
He's got 16. Brown couldn't finish. Brown saves it for Copeland on a Euro. Reaching around, he draws a foul on Post. His second. How about Claudell Harris?
Punishes the zone again, and with that kind of range, standing there near the coach's box, found himself a rhythm there. And I thought, yeah, you can see Post jumps to the side, goes vertical, but he jumps up. Got to go straight up and down there.
So Copeland to the line. And for Claudell Harris, how about the turnaround for him? Went through 2 games. The first Notre Dame meeting and then North Carolina, where combined he was 2 for 24 from the floor.
Yeah.
So they brought him off the bench against Virginia Tech. He had 14. At Notre Dame, brought him off the bench. 9 in the second half. And then today, not starting again, 16.
I think you just want him aggressive. He knows he's going to finish the game, whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench.
Coming up on 5 to go. Zackery, tough shot.
Look at the strength there. Hanging in the air. knocking down that mid-range jumper.
Benny Williams got bumped, got it to go anyway.
I think Benny can do that whenever he wants with his size and athletic ability to get to his mid-range shot.
Timeout with 4:47 to go in this second half. We step aside for 30, then right back to Chestnut Hill.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's College Hoops on ESPN and AP.
Hey, every Thursday we'll have a women's basketball doubleheader for you right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 17, Virginia Tech against Virginia starts us off at 6 Eastern. Then number 24, North Carolina takes on 5th-ranked NC State. Well, here starting off our men's doubleheader on ACCN. Got a good one between Syracuse on the road and Boston College. Hey, coming up, still to come here. Part 2 of our twin bill is Louisville at Little John against Clemson, who Lenardi right now has as a 6 seed. He's got Syracuse under consideration, but trailing by 10 on the road at Connie Forum. BC gets it in.
The Orange now extending their defensive pressure.
And a foul is called on Syracuse, pressuring Zackery, looking for a trap.
And the Orange has to extend their defense now. They're down 10 here. Approaching 4 minutes in this game. You got to start chipping away here. They're going to gamble a little bit on the perimeter. You got to watch Malik Brown. Got quick hands just like that. You got to watch his hands.
He knocked it off the leg of Chaz Kelly first, so it's an over and back. And turnover number 20, and right on cue, those hands of Brown.
You know it's coming. You got to put him away. You got to have him off the ball, and he just has unbelievable timing. And you're just not accustomed to that with bigs.
They're going to flip this call here. Ramey Steins comes over with an explanation for us and says that that's a rule change from just a couple of years ago, where if the defender deflects it off the leg of the offensive player, it is not a backcourt violation.
It's a great call. Great job by the officiating crew, but you got to know.
Harris wants another. He's got another. His 5th 3 tonight.
Harris just said, get on my back. I'm taking you home.
Leads at 13. Brown. Risky pass finds Starling. Coming up on 4 to go. In the hands of Mintz. Around the screen. To the elbow. To Starling. Contested 3.
It's a great find there by Judah Mintz. Saw him out the corner of his eye. Didn't have to have a 3 there, but great job finding his teammate.
We'll take a timeout on the floor with 3:49 to go, and BC at home up by Claudell Harris.
Yeah, they lost him here, and he made him play earlier in transition, and it's not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 threes, and he's mixed it up. Get to the rim as well, and he has put the BC Eagles on his back, and he's attempted to take him home here and close this thing out. Last 3 minutes and 49 seconds.
He averages 14 points. He just ripped off 14 in 3 minutes and 37 seconds.
He's starting to become comfortable within his offense as well. His teammates are looking for him. They're finding him. He doesn't have to figure it out and force some shots sometimes. I think he's just getting comfortable.
He moves it to Chaz Kelly as BC soaks some seconds, up by 10. Coming up on 3.5 to go against Syracuse. Brown commits a foul of Zackery. 6th team foul on the Orange.
Great job by Zackery there, knowing Brown with his quick hands. He just went in attack mode, and you can't retreat because he's going to take up the space. And great job by the veteran point guard to forced the call on Brown.
His fourth, by the way. In the hands of Claudell Harris, the Charleston Southern transfer. Finding his flow within this offense. Lob for McGlockton, who finishes from Quentin Post.
Great slip of the ball screen there. He catches on the move, and just seeing the skill set of Post and what he do as a 7-footer.
Mintz, tough shot and an answer. He's got 15.
BC, don't rush. Got to get the ball in bounds. Be strong with the trap. What makes BC so dangerous to press, too, is that you can use Quentin Post, even though he's a 7-footer, you can use him as a press releaser with his ball handling skills. Good defensive team, full court as the Orange are.
Fouls on Benny Williams, and that's his third. And now the 1-and-1 coming for BC. Syracuse grabbed the lead early on in this game, but then Boston College closed the first half and started the second half in convincing fashion and built a lead as large as 14. Malik Brown was in foul trouble in the first half. Quadir Copeland has helped spur the Orange back for Red Autry. But every time Syracuse has had a punch and they had a haymaker at points in this second half, BC's had answers.
They've cut it to a 2-point lead, and right at Boston College for not panicking and started taking care of the basketball again. I mean, the only thing that stopped them tonight is just the turnovers, their own momentum. And they've been scoring at a high clip all game, shooting 60% from the field and 52 from 3.
Mintz for 3, straight on.
Just got to take care of the basketball there. If you can just take care of the basketball, long possessions.
In the hands of Kelly, trying to shake Starling. Backs it out for Zackery with 2:10 to go.
And make yourself available here. And
four corners, Zackery splits, lobs, too strong, and it's a turnover for BC. A 9-point game, $1:56 to go. Earl Grant's team trying to get to the finish line.
Got to get a shot. Got to get a shot. You're Orange, you don't need a 3. You just got to get a quick attack here.
And thought about it. Corner, Copeland. Kick, Mintz. Back iron. Starling was fouled on the rebounding action.
If you're the Orange, just continue to drive the basketball. You don't have to have a 3. That was a good look off penetration there. And if you're Boston College Eagles, you don't want the clock to stop. The only good thing about your last offensive possession was you ran the clock down, but you got a turnover trying to throw a lob, and then you come down here and you commit a foul.
1-1 for J.J. Starling at 68%. Good on the first.
Finishing games like this are not easy. You're trying to be conservative, but you need to be aggressive. I think even right now, if you can get a layup, you take it. You want a long possession. I don't know if you're watching. You see what Brown and Post are going at. There's little settled jabs and things that they're doing, trying to get the other one to commit a foul.
We've had 2 games of this over the last 3 weeks. So the lead at 7 for BC. Zackery ran to the sideline. Now a couple of seconds and BC gets it over in time. Harris underneath for McGlockton, who finishes.
Just like that. Punt it, get across and score. They got too tentative and not trying to score and was turning it over, not getting good shot attempts. So the opportunity presented itself. You take care of it. Knock it down. Get the layup.
Williams hits a 3. He's got it down to 6. And Red Autry takes a timeout. And now it's a 2-possession game with still 1:14 to go.
That's why it was so important to get that last basket there. You're not expecting Benny Williams to rise up and knock that 3 down, but he does. And when the team is desperate, you just got to play him square. And now you got to eliminate 3-point shots if you're BC. You got to defend that line and force Cuse to drive and try to play 2 for 2.
Malik Brown with 4 fouls, and then Mintz, Copeland, and Williams all with 3. Speaking of Williams, only his 7th made 3 of the season. He'd been 6 for 30, and as you said, much needed, but also unexpected. And now you're sitting here only down by 6.
Now you got to guard it all. If you're BC, it doesn't matter who it is. You can ill afford anyone knocking down 3s. make it a 2-point game. If they score 2, they got a foul. They don't create a turnover on the inbound. And then you just go tick for tack. But what you cannot do is give up 3s, and then you're giving them 2s, and they chew into this lead. Got to get a shot here. Syracuse is going to gamble early. They're going to trap. You got to take care of the basketball, be strong in the trap. More importantly, you got to come and make yourself available. Can't be afraid to get to the free throw line. Usually teams will put in small guards if they can, 4 to 5 guards if they could, to get their better free throw shooters on the court as well, and their better ball handlers and decision makers.
A reminder still to come. We will get you the Little John at Clemson, but the Tigers playing host to Louisville. Ah, yes, royalty in the building.
Yeah, we do. We should bow.
The Harvard of Central New York is playing at Boston College. Sean McDonough in the building. 6-point game, 1:14 to go. Jaeden Zackery will key it in. He's out there with McGlockton, Kelly, Post, and Harris for Earl Grant. Kelly is trapped. Williams tried to save it, and then it goes out of bounds on the sideline. And it belongs still to BC. Whoa.
Gotta make yourself available there. Post went deep. You see the traps coming. You see that rotation by Judah Mintz. And the other thing, Chaz Kelly has to turn and face the defense. You can't turn your back. You can't see the court. You're going to see Earl Grant call a timeout and draw something up.
While the officials head to the monitor to check on this, with 1:09 to go in the second half, and Boston College up by 6.
It's a big decision here.
It is.
But you got to turn and face, and you heard me say this about bigs and the post. I think you got to do that even as a guard. You can't turn your back against a trap. As difficult as it is with all the pressure, you got to turn and face and be strong with the ball. Chaz Kelly that time had his back to most of the court. You couldn't see anybody. And you don't get fouls that way either because you're in such a passive posture. Earl Grant's trying to get on top of this and make sure his guys got the ball. This game totally flips if it's the orange. I thought it might have been out there. And
well, so it's for sure out on Syracuse. And what the officials want to know is if Syracuse had enough possession to reset the shot clock all the way to 30, or if it is good where it is at 24.
I think it's going to be baseline.
Yeah, and that too, whether it's baseline or sideline.
They're trying to see if it's baseline or sideline, whether he possessed it enough. Where are you going to mark it out?
Joe Lindsay and Brian O'Connell discussing. And now it looks like Earl Grant is perhaps taking a timeout here as well. We'll have another look at it. Hey, reminder, Thursday night, 10 Eastern, after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game. They'll look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week, right here on ACC and in the app. All right, what'd you learn as Ramey Steins came over?
Well, they were debating on what the shot clock was going to be, but with the timeout now, that's negated. You don't have to worry about that now with the timeout by BC, so.
Okay, Cuse now for Boston College, getting it in, knowing you're staring down all sorts of pressure from Syracuse.
So much time on the clock right now, you know they're going to be a trap. So whoever gets the ball has to be strong with it. And the most important thing is you got to make yourself available. You can't run long and expect to catch a Hail Mary touchdown pass after the ball's inbounds. And you can throw it if you set up that way early, but they're going to try to trap this as soon as the ball comes inbounds.
Zackery and Post are the best free throw shooters for the Eagles. Kelly trying to evade a trap. He does, and lobs ahead for Harris.
Great job there by Chaz Kelly. He had teammates running down the court, and he had to be strong with that ball and find somebody. That's a heck of a play.
Harris looking for a dagger. In and out. 45 seconds to go for Syracuse. Down by 6. Here is Mintz off the bounce. Met by Harris. Mintz fires. Can't connect. And it's BC basketball.
Didn't have to have a 3 there, but he picked his dribble up. Couldn't take advantage of Harris jumping in the air, and once he picks his dribble up here, he had angles. You watch it,
Red Autry is arguing that it was deflected. Judging by Mintz's reaction, I'm not sure it was.
No, I think he just was after the shot fake and never gathered his feet, was never on balance.
Nope. So it will be BC basketball with 36.1 to go. Syracuse, boy, had an opportunity there.
Didn't have to have that 3. I thought had Harris not come over and surprised Judah Mintz and made him pick up his dribble, I think he attacks the paint, tries to draw a foul and stop the clock. And even if he gets a 2-point and cut it to 4, it still would have been plenty of time left. So now expect it to be a trap immediately and then a foul.
Again, we'll get you to Little John as soon as we're done here at Connie Forum with Louisville and Clemson, led by P.J. Hall and Joe Girard on deck. Jaeden Zackery to put it in. Bounces in a difficult spot for Quentin Post, who got fouled by Benny Williams. 4 on Williams, and the 1-and-1 coming for Quentin Post, who's good on 83% this year at the line.
I thought he gave it up too quickly the previous possession when he caught it on the sideline out of bounds play there. Difficult to trap a 7-footer.
Yeah, I'll say.
You know, when you're pressing, so he's able to throw it over the top.
Front end. 8.
Ball comes out of his hands, great form. Just really good offensive player shooting the basketball. He's had some trouble with the Orangemen, in particular Malik Brown, but he's a talent no less.
He makes it an 8-point BC lead. 35 seconds for Mintz and the Orange. Goblet off the bounce. Attacks. Can't finish. Around Post. Harris ahead for Zackery. Syracuse commits a foul on Kelly. How about BC? Weathered a big swing from Syracuse in this second half, and BC's trying to make it back-to-back ACC wins and trying to win for the first time in 6 years against the Orange.
It's a great job by BC. The streak is over. They've got that monkey off their back, and sometimes psychologically that bothers you. Team having that much success. You were down early, you had to have confidence. You were down early the first game. You couldn't have played worse with your 2 best players going scoreless in that game. And they even started out a little shaky here tonight. This team's responded, taking care of business at home. Great win by BC.
Starling in the final 10 seconds hits one to trim it to 5. And 6.8 remaining. Syracuse out of timeouts. BC has 2 if it needs one. And they will foul Post with 5.2 to go. 4 on Mintz.
Boston College fans are booing Judah Mintz. He's like, what do you expect me to do?
Tell you what, it's been a raucous atmosphere in this second half.
It has.
Student section has shown up.
The Orangemen showed up and showed out. They've been pretty loud behind us here. The student section has been letting us know.
Yeah, you got tinnitus or what? Post misses the first.
I know that popcorn smelled good and that pizza looked good when they were eating behind us as well. So, as much as you eat, I know you were watching it.
Oh, yeah, that's post game. Post misses both.
Wow.
Starling, waning seconds, nearly significant to some. Boston College gets the win 80-75 over Syracuse, and their first win against the Orange in